Welcome to Nick Speaks, everyone. This is a show where you will get a completely unbiased opinion on potential investment opportunities from condos to single-family houses and multifamily properties in Chicago and the surrounding suburbs. If you like the content, please share, like, and subscribe. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the show. Let's fucking go.
Let's go.
Cheers.
What are we doing?
Welcome to Nick Speaks. That's upgrade of the podcast at this point.
I love that.
I'm starting interviewing people.
Full disclaimer, there was zero preparation. That
Absolutely
went into
zero preparation.
Zero.
This is, super professional. There's going to be a lot of swearing. Okay, so last week I did a podcast with Katie.
Yeah.
She's the nicest person I've literally, she's the nicest person ever. And she refuses to talk shit about other people. And I'm not saying
So that was your next step.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but yeah. And, next step is you. I'm going from like 0 to 10 in like 1 week. So you're the 10 there. Like there is no medium.
The 10, yeah. Well.
What we discussed with Katie last week is basically Vesta is moving more and more towards sales right now. So we're getting into specifically into the listing game. We're pushing hard to get more sellers, right? To get more listings. And you and Katie and Greg and Brad and Lena, everybody's getting more and more listings. So you're getting more and more familiar with the difference between taking out buyers and actually taking listings and being on the other side of the table, which is, that's awesome though. That's how you get basically that's how you get well-rounded as a broker. You can do both at this point. You start from the bottom, like in terms of me and you specifically start from the bottom with the rentals.
With the rentals, yeah.
And we start on the bottom of the barrel with the rentals, with the shittiest rentals in the city.
Yeah, sometimes people are like, oh, you did rentals. I'm like, no, you don't understand. We rented $800 studios.
Yeah, we didn't do rentals in the heart of downtown.
I think I did zero luxury rentals in my life. I have never I've set up food on it, but I have never rented. Oh, you rented at Nima, bougie. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't really know the luxury rental buildings too well.
Exactly. So, but again, we started from the bottom of the barrel with the shittiest rentals in the city of Chicago. We're talking about studios for like $700, right?
Yep.
And then we stepped up the game with a lot of buyers, and then we're taking it up a notch again with sellers. Now, my biggest issue is because I'm not that big on listings overall, but I do work with a lot of listing agents on the other side. And why are they so fucking bad? Like, why is 90% of listing agents I'm not even talking about suburbs only. I'm talking about period 90% of listing agents in the city of Chicago and the suburbs and surrounding suburbs. They're fucking horrible.
Yeah, the bar of entry is really low. But I will say that not to say I've done more listings lately too. And I was always of the same opinion of, I don't understand how they get their business. And we as buyer's agents perform so much harder for our clients. And just the level is not there. But now that I've had a couple listings, I will say there's a lot of really fucking stupid buyer's agents on the other side too.
Agree.
And I am so confused sometimes by the amount of times that you get stood up by another professional who got a license and has a realtor tag under their Instagram, their ABR,
the R,
LLC.
Oh, I love those
TMC.
MBR, PMS, MTV, whatever the fuck they did. I don't know these abbreviations.
Yeah, but you have to chase people down for showings. They will text you and be like, "Can I see it today at 3:00?" And you'll be like, "Sure, yes." And then you'll be like, "I confirmed." And then there's you never speak to them again. So I don't even think it's listing versus buying. I just think there's so many bad professionals because honestly, you don't have to be a nuclear scientist to get into the real estate, and the bar of entry is so damn low.
Well, okay, so what is the solution to the problem here in your opinion? So what I'm hearing basically is that we work a lot. I mean, we work a lot. We work 7 days a week. Most of the days, I mean, we get home at 6, 7 at night, 8 o'clock at night. We do late showings, we do early showings. We're there for basically every step of the way for every client, regardless if buyer, renter, seller, whatever it is, right? So is the issue that we have high expectations as we caring about our job, specifically our company and companies like shout out to like fucking like Literacy, for example. You know, do we care too much and do we set the bar so high and we hold up everyone else to that kind of bar and we expect the same type of service and treatment
Yes,
from
I
the
think
other end?
so. I absolutely think so. And it's not even the bar is high. I think the bar is set adequately, right?
Okay.
Following up for feedback after each showing is a reasonable thing to do. And doing reverse prospecting for your client is a reasonable thing to do. And updating your buyer on your showings is a reasonable thing to do. And not like being late on showings is a reasonable thing to do. And I don't know, for some reason, it's not like none of these things are these out of the world crazy luxury things, but for some reason a lot of agents have like really struggled with this really basic professional things that you should be performing everywhere. And all of these things matter, but yet you'll see somebody running like late or how many times people like don't show up for showings and be like, can you meet somebody for me? Can you meet somebody for me? And I'm always happy to do that. If it's like a Saturday last minute showing, you can get in. Like I would rather get a client in there. But then if somebody's like, yeah, like not even like leading into it, can you meet my client on Tuesday at 6 p.m.? Like why, like what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? You know?
I mean, I get it. Like, listen, let's go back to the first question of basically is like, how do you think these listing agents are getting
Business? I don't
getting
know.
business? So my point is that, okay, exceptions to the rule, of course, is can you meet my client? I'm running late. I have another showing.
Yeah.
Something happened. I can. My car broke down or all that kind of stuff. Can you do it? Absolutely. Because if I don't meet your client, if I'm a listing agent and I don't meet your client there, that's a missed opportunity for my
Correct.
for my seller.
Absolutely.
So regardless, I'm going to be there with or without you.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yes, I'm more than happy to meet your client. No problem. Now, on the other hand, there are listing agents who don't even show up to showings.
Yeah.
First. Second of all, don't answer phone calls. Don't answer emails.
Forget to cancel showings.
Forget
and
to
then just
cancel
don't
showings.
show up.
Correct. So those are important things. So if they ignore us, which we're the people who bring them people, correct?
Yeah.
If they ignore us, like how do they justify that to the actual sellers? Do they actually update them? Where is the communication between a listing agent and the
I
seller?
literally do not know. I sold a $900,000 3-bed in Lakeview last year, and I have never met the listing agent once. After we closed, he texted me and told me that he left his golf chair, like the folding chair, after like an open house that he did in the place, and asked me if I would like drive down there, pick it up, and drop it off at his office. Like, it just makes no fucking sense to me. Never met him, not once. And we saw it twice. So, like, we went for first showing, never met him. Second showing, never met him. Inspection, never met him. Final walkthrough, never met him.
It's just
Like, can you, like, drive down and get
for
my
me,
chair?
this is pure insanity.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know.
as a right mind, like, as a seller, like for example, let's say hypothetical scenario, I've never done real estate. Let's say I've never done real estate in my life, and I want to sell this place, like whatever place, 123 Main Street, and I'm interviewing people because let's say I'm sort of a wealthy person. My place costs like $1 million. Mm-hmm. I'm like, hey, I have a business. I don't have time to do this shit. Let me hire somebody to sell the place, right?
Yeah.
I make a couple of phone calls and I'm like kind of a nonchalant person. Yeah, sure, whatever. Let's interview Anastasia and I don't know, Jack from whatever realty. And you come here with everything that you're just saying that like, this is what I'm going to do to you from A to Z. I'm going to help. Like literally go work. I'll sell you a place.
I don't think that many people interview as many people as you think. A lot of them will get connected to somebody who helped them buy a place first or to somebody that they know and just pass it on to them. I think that's probably the issue. I think a lot of people don't interview as hard. And even with buyer agents too, you know how it works too. We connect with Zillow people so many times, and then there's so little transparency and so little understanding of who is who. Like now it's getting better with the new buyer agreements.
Yeah.
There's more understanding of, and I always try to do it before as well, being like I would be representing you, I don't represent the seller, but there's so much confusion in there. And a lot of people get stuck with working with the same person that they would be working as just because it's more convenient or maybe they don't want to go seek. I think the issue is that a lot of people don't interview as much as they should be interviewing, because if you were to compare it, as you're saying, there's no way, at least it makes absolutely no sense to me. And we do see the Alta statements at the end. So, this person didn't get paid like $100 for it.
Yeah.
They still got paid like a normal amount.
Yeah. Yeah, and what is the solution to this problem? Like, what is it? Like, because it keeps happening. I keep seeing it. I keep seeing it with listing agents. The one thing that
I mean,
grinds
I
my
don't think it is a terrible problem, honestly, because I think I personally love when somebody is represented poorly because it means that if I represent a buyer, I can get him into a place at less money, or maybe in a competitive market, maybe that's the place is. I love when somebody takes non-professional photos and then it looks like shit online, and then I convince my buyer to get in and see it. I love it
Okay.
when nobody's showing it. Like maybe that's just what it is, and that's a
silver
necessary
lining.
part of the
Yeah,
job.
kind of
You know?
take advantage of poor representation on the other side. But
Yeah, I mean, I think it's what it is because I think, and there's another thing to talk about too. There is poor representation, and then there's adequate representation and terrible fucking attitude from the other
True.
side as well that we have to deal with as well too.
Well, attitude on the other side, in my opinion, is also poor representation, though, because when a broker starts getting, for lack of a better term, butthurt over amount of money, I don't understand. Like, dude, you're not the seller. This is not your own place.
Yeah,
You're selling this place on behalf of somebody else.
yeah.
Like, if somebody presents you an offer, you present that fucking offer and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and I don't only mean it in that way. Even though, yes, absolutely,
This is-
somebody who is,
Yeah.
yes, just let's just skip all of this, right? Let's save 10 minutes of our life, and you just present it, and you just give me the counter
Correct.
offer, right?
Correct.
Let's just do it. Let's just do it the right way. But even, and maybe you don't experience that much, but being a younger female too, you have a lot of people trying to look down to you
Okay.
and try to make themselves feel better in front of your clients, just on your behalf. And it's a constant pushback that you have to remind you and set your boundary and be like, no, it's not how we're going to interact with each other. But there's so much of that little attitude on both sides too. And I, see it
listen,
from buyers
I don't
agents
live
too
in
now.
I don't live in a bubble. I know what you mean. Like, I mean, the good thing about this industry specifically is like it's equal in terms of male female.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's the good thing about it. It's not like saturated with like bunch of guys who are just trying to like oppress women and anything like that. But yes, I've seen it personally. I'm pretty sure you experienced it. So
Yeah.
yes, there is this factor, which I agree. But do you think that this is something that do you think that this can affect an offer, like being like offer being presented from for example from a younger female to a male agent? Do you think this?
I think it's all about communication, right?
Okay.
So I think like for me personally, I just know that I have to work extra hard. I have to drop my voice down a little bit, and I have to get into that masculine energy and make it in a very clear understanding terms that I do understand how it works. So I think it's about communication too, but I do understand that somehow, yeah, sometimes it probably would be, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
You just have to know how to play the game.
I kind of feel for you though.
Yeah.
I agree because I've never
Yeah.
experienced anything like that. I mean, I'm a prick. So even if somebody tries to be a
Not
prick
like that
to me,
nice either. That's why I'm invited here.
yeah, I'm a dick. So
But that's
like,
why
yeah.
it's easier for me. Be like, no, like
Yeah, it's the
I'm
Eastern
5'3",
Europe.
but do you hear
European,
this
though.
accent?
It's the Eastern European
Exactly.
though. Yeah.
Exactly.
So okay. So
I don't think there's anything to solve the issue. I think it's just in anywhere else.
do you think
right?
that this like it is what it is?
I
That
think
we
it's just
have
it is
to-
what
we
it
have to-
is.
we
I
have to
think
deal
it's
with
like
it?
in any job, right? You have top 20% that will sell top 80%, and then you'll have 80% that have like a little bite of something. And
I
you
don't
know,
even think it's 80% though.
I,
I probably think it's 5% of the brokers.
maybe
to
whatever the number is. I just totally made it up.
98% of the fucking
I probably
business.
saw a TikTok about it, and I
Yeah.
totally made it up. I didn't actually read the book.
It's crazy though. I mean, it's just like the one thing that grinds my gears in general is when I'm showing more higher end places and brokers don't show up. It's just grind my gears.
Yeah, and it's
Like when you go of a budget over, I mean, like again, I'm not saying that if your budget is under $600,000, like your listing is less valuable to a broker.
of course
like
not.
you treat every listing the same way.
yeah, absolutely.
Period.
I mean, we don't do lock boxes. Period.
There's no log boxes. You always answer the phone. You
Yeah.
always answer emails and all that.
They don't
but
skip showings.
it grinds my gears when you see a place that it's sitting on the market for like 2 months and it's $780,000.
And you're like, he's the doorman.
Keys with doorman
Yeah.
and like not even a phone call. Basically like, hey, listen, this is my name. I'm sorry, I don't show this property. Keys with the
Or
doorman.
no follow up afterwards either.
Exactly.
Like you will not have like
Perfect example. Like last week, we put a place under contract, 60 East Monroe, one of the higher floors, like 55th floor or whatever it is. It was listed for 800. We put it for a contract for 750 or something. 51, 4 floors down, is listed for 830. And we sent him an offer. It was kind of a fucky offer. Absolutely no response. I had to follow up with the broker on my offer.
So bizarre.
It's just horrible. Like this is what I mean by, okay, so if you don't want to do the job, why do you take the listing? What is it? What is it there? Is it sense of pride that, oh, I have a high end listing, but then you don't sell it? So what's the point? I mean, I would never turn down a listing. I don't give a fuck what it is. I'm not at that level that I can be like, oh, no, thank you. I know your place is like, $700,000, but no, thank you. I don't need it. Of course I need a business. I mean, everybody wants the business, right?
Unless it's like super overpriced.
Unless it's extremely overpriced.
Okay.
Unless the comp says that, hey, this place is not more than $600,000. You want to put it for $700,000 and you don't have any room for negotiation. I mean, at this point, save your money, save your time, save your mental energy and all that kind of stuff. I get it. But why take it though? Like, and just, you're being a pain in the ass for the whole industry at this point.
Not to be dramatic.
Not to be dramatic. The industry is going down. Like,
I think we should talk about every little thing, like everything that annoys us when we work with the other agents.
What
just like a
annoys you?
speedball. Well, I get really annoyed, and it's because it's free market right now, and in certain markets there's so little inventory, and if you work with buyers, you'll be like, can I see it on Tuesday at 3 p.m. and they'll be like, no, but you can come on Friday at 11:15, and you're like, how is it even fucking same? Like, how is it anything? And then you can't do anything about it, and you have to go on Friday at 11:15. But the problem is that everybody has those showing windows same, so you have to kind of duplicate and triplicate yourself to be in the same time at the same place, and sometimes you have to meet the same buyer like 2-3 times in a day actually to come into those showings. But like, I get it. I have listings too, and I understand that it's hard to, you can like live there, but some agents like don't even try, like absolutely not.
I just had a listing, the one we sold for 485 in the suburbs, right? Like multiple offers. Like basically we put it on the market Friday morning. My first showing was on Saturday. I had 4 showings, 3 offers from the 4 showings. One of the offers is like, hey, we're giving you this amount of money cash over asking. We need you to cancel everything. No problem. We took, everything was good, right? Now, what I told my seller is like, listen, it's pre-market. You're gonna have like, you want to sell the place. We're putting on a price that will sell with multiple offers. This is the reason we're doing it.
Yeah.
You live here. I need you to be able to get the fuck out of here in a second.
Yeah.
Because my job is to show the place. That's
Yeah.
my main job, is to go there, open the door, and basically sell the crap out of this place. But I can't do it when you're here.
Yeah.
It's just uncomfortable for everybody. So I don't understand why agents don't push the sellers a little bit on that front. I get it. You have two small kids, no showings after 6 o'clock. I get it.
Yeah.
I completely understand. But at least open more showing windows, because if you don't that, you're doing yourself a disservice though. As a seller, your agent is not able to do the job correctly in this situation. And then sellers are just hard-headed, and I don't understand why though.
It's also like, I get it. You have a listing that will sell regardless, right? Like, you probably don't need my 4:15 showing on a Tuesday, and you're gonna sell it regardless. But you don't have to be such a dick about it.
True.
You know, you don't have to be like, how dare you even suggest this
Yeah.
thing? Did you not read the comments, silly girl? Like,
Yeah.
Friday 11 till 1.
It's pre-market. Nobody gives a fuck about your
Like-
schedule and about the comments though. Like
literally,
this
it's
is what it
It's
is.
so annoying. Like, we try to do our best, and market tends to move from seller's market to buyer's market, and you're like, sometimes it's not going to be like this forever. Yeah, I don't know. What annoys you about other agents?
Everything. I'm an asshole. I hate them all. I hate real estate brokers. I'm not even joking. I fucking hate real estate brokers.
I understand why people don't like us.
Yeah,
I think shows like sell it.
1,000%. Like if somebody sees me with my attitude, I'm pretty sure, 100% sure, is like, oh my God, he's such an asshole. I get it. I'm an asshole.
But you are not like an average broker too. Because like, imagine like seeing somebody on like, I don't know, Instagram, who is like, Like their whole personality is like waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, like cold plunging, and
fuck
you're
no.
like, absolutely not.
No.
Or on the other spectrum, you see Selling Sunset, and you're like, okay, this bitch only wears Louboutins and like drinks mimosas at brunch, and that's about it.
Must be nice.
Must be nice.
I mean, listen.
I wish. I wish.
I wish to. Like, listen, do I want to be like one of those guys on TV that sells like $20 million properties? Absolutely. I mean, sure. But I don't know. I mean, the perception of the general public to real estate brokers is that we do that, but we don't. It's such a grind that it's such a mental exhaustion and grind, 24/7 work that a lot of people try to get into the industry and they fail in the first 2 to 3 months. Not even sometimes.
No, what is the statistic? They have
90%.
90% of people don't resign after don't resume their license after the first 2 years.
Yep, like 90% of it, and then the rest of the 10%, probably half of the rest of the 10% fail afterwards. It's very few people who actually can stick with this
It's
job.
tough.
I mean, it's a tough job. I don't foresee, and it's gonna get tougher. Market is going to flip. It's not gonna be like this forever.
No.
So when the market flips, I mean, it's good when the market when we have a seller's market, everything sells pretty quick, everything sells pretty easy. You do have motivated buyers, which is good. If the market flips, and if you have a lot of motivated sellers, it's not the same for buyers though. Buyers won't be that motivated because if the market flips, the buyers don't. First of all, sellers don't have money, but the buyers don't have money either.
It's a very different skill set though. It's a very much like fourth quarter of the year, but you have it throughout.
Yeah.
Because I personally really like shopping in the third, fourth quarter of the year. It kind of triggers that. It's kind of like a puzzle that you have to solve. You have that negotiation that will last like 3 weeks, and you know, and you have a buyer that you have to maybe convince a little more to pull a trigger. I think it's a good skill to have to do both, obviously, because market shifts, right? It never stays the same, and right now downtown's struggling a little bit, and everybody's killing each other for these 2 1s in Lakeview, Lincoln Park under 400K, or it's really tough. Yeah, but it won't stay like this forever either. So it's good to know all of it and good to have it. And I'm really happy that we have so many buyers that we work with. And I think once we do so many first-time home buyers, and I think once you learn that skill, it gets so much easier because the amount of anxiety you have from a first-time home buyer who has their cousin and their father and their friend from high school from Minnesota and the dude on Instagram, and they consume all of that information. Some of it is very contradictory, and they bring all of it to you. And then you have a family, and then you have money, and then you have all this anxiety, and you have to smooth it out, explain it, educate, win the offer for them, because it's so tough to even do that. You have to be like, okay, I hear that you heard that seller will pay your closing costs, and the market is crashing. I understand, but it's actually quite different.
But you need a place to live.
But we are probably going to have to pay $25,000 over asking.
Yeah.
But that was nice. Thank you for sharing that information. So I think that's a really good skill, because no matter what it is, you have the most anxious person that you convince to trust you, educate, and then it gets smoother, because sellers are a little easier than first-time home buyers, in my experience. If they're a reasonable person, I think there is a little more.
Listen,
because at least they've done this process.
If somebody's a reasonable person, they're easy to work with, regardless if they're a buyer or seller, right? From my experience. But yeah, I tend to agree with you. Like, maybe sellers are a little bit. Again, I've never sold anything in a buyer's market, like a straight up buyer's market that like struggling to sell ever. Like, because the last shift was like what, 2015-16, when like it started turning into a seller's market a little bit more. That was the last shift, and not for me, but like right now, I tend to agree that it is a little bit more of a seller's market. I'm not that experienced with listings overall when it comes to it, but the last, like for example, I see a lot of brokers struggling downtown. The Loop, for example, right now, it's pretty bad.
It's tough, yeah.
It's pretty bad. Yeah, Loop.
Yeah,
Loop.
well, I have a couple listings in downtown, and it's definitely much harder.
Yeah.
It's definitely much harder, and even if you're priced correctly and your marketing is right, it takes a while. I have that listing at 211 East Ohio, which is a tough building in general. It has a lot of issues. No, it's actually the best building ever. Uh, don't listen to me. But it's just a tough sell, and it just takes more work for you to sell it. And I don't understand how some people just do keys with door stuff and not showing it, because I truly don't understand. Because the difference is, like, you don't have anybody advocating and telling all the
Yeah.
pros about it, and handling all the objections on the spot. I truly don't get it. Yeah,
All right. Well, let's wrap it up. Thank you so much for.
anytime.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it again soon.
Yeah,
For
for
sure.
sure. Next time I'll think more about the things that piss me off. I'll have a list.
Alrighty. Thank you so much, Diego.